Welcome back to the Give a Shit podcast. This week, I've got a real special guest for you. Somebody that I've known a very long time. Let me introduce you, our commercial director, Elliot Garbett.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? I'm all right, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
As you know, the podcast's all about like people really giving a shit and who really wants it and passion and drive and all of that sort of stuff. So I want to cover the ground right off the bat of like our relationship from kids, you know, and when we first met and that sort of stuff, and through them early years, just to get a flavour for what makes you tick now. But we'll save that for later. It's more about like, well, where did the journey start, El? Where were you born? What was life like as a kid growing up?
Life was good. You know, I was born in Starbridge.
Up the
Starbridge, home of a lot of great footballers.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham, Elliot Garbett.
I thought he was a cricketer.
Who, me?
No, the Elliot Garbett. I thought
There is a cricketer called Elliot Garbett, and obviously I'm a great cricketer as well.
Okay.
But yeah, born there. Then grew up. Mum and Dad split up when I was fairly young, but childhood was great. You know, they got on really well, despite breaking up. And you know, I spent a lot of good time with my dad, and then lived with my mum. Mm-hmm. So that was good.
And so did you? So when did you move then to the Bromsgrove area? Because didn't we met at Licky End?
We met at Licky End. So it was really, I was young. You know, I don't remember living anywhere else.
And you were in the flats then, weren't you?
Yeah, initially, Mum lived in a flat, in a council house.
Staple flat, wasn't it?
It was Burcott, I think it was. Yeah.
Down the road from the crab mill.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And she was working, but also doing night school and stuff like that.
Don't play to Mum.
Yeah, you know, she grafted up the head. Go on the head. Yeah. Then, you know, she got out of that and moved to, I think it was Pennine initially.
Okay.
Then Old Station Road, and yeah, it was all right.
And so, what did you take from that? So, when your mum and dad first split up, do you remember that moment? Do you
No, I
remember any of
don't.
that?
I don't remember.
Too
that.
young.
No, I can't remember what happened last week, mate. To be honest, no, I was far too young. But I don't. You know, I know it can be hard when parents split and things like that. But for me, it wasn't. I don't remember that, and you know, my child was generally happy.
Yeah.
Like I said, my dad spent a lot of time. You know, he lived about an hour away, but he'd come over in the week, and then on Saturdays we'd have. You know, I'd go off with him, and we'd go to the Albion or go swimming and stuff like that.
Up the Albion.
Up the baggies.
Take a pie.
Tika.
Take a pie.
Keenan Arm, Stella, lads, blokes.
And so when we met, we were.
It was cause when did you move to Licky End? You were from the start, weren't you?
Yeah. So I started in that year 4. So I was
like year 1, isn't it? It's reception.
Yeah, sorry, year 1. So it was like how old were we?
4 or 5, I guess. Yeah.
5. And so we've known each other.
36 years.
That's a fucking long
Christ.
time, that is, mate.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is. And we'd had too many rows, really.
No, great.
We've had a few, but not too many.
So tell me a bit about the early adult life. So, you know, from, you know, bumming around the place to sofa hopping to, you know, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. How did that all turn out? Because I remember at one point just thinking Elliot dies from one place to the other. He's got a job every other week that's doing something else.
Fairly accurate, yeah. I mean, I was always, you know, pretty bright at school. I was never stupid, but I just didn't really have a great work ethic, I think.
Okay.
Pissed around a lot, and that was me. And then as school finished, I went to sixth form college to do sports studies and different bits. But from that, you know, I didn't want to go on to university because I was sensible enough to know I'd just get pissed all the time and not do any studying, and I'd end up dropping out with loads of debt.
Yeah.
So that's when I went into work. So I was doing gym instructing, lifeguarding, things like that.
Yeah.
But generally quite a bit of a piss can. Went from there to Ladbrokes, where developed a bit of a gambling habit as well, so that was good.
That went well.
That was good, yeah.
What happened there?
Ladbrokes.
Ladbrokes, was that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I got promoted pretty quickly because I was good at it and I enjoyed it, but I was also just a card, you know, pissed every night and wouldn't really care. That was what I was like growing up for quite a long time.
And so, what was that turning point, El, that made you think like, I can't be pissing around anymore. I can't be just loafing.
I was at Essential Loans on the phones,
Okay.
and working at the pub at the Crown.
Yeah.
Where I met Kat.
Pouring pints.
Pouring pints, getting pissed behind the bar.
Yeah. We had some good nights.
We had some good nights. Yeah, we did.
Filled up in a fireplace.
Yeah, you threw him in a fireplace, then Jeff to drink over him because he stole a coat.
Stole somebody's riffy coat.
Yeah, we did. Did have some good nights in the Crown.
Yeah, we did.
But we were young, and things were...
Some free beers in there as well.
I don't know about that. don't know who would have gave those. But yeah, but also I need to sort my life out. Stop just dossing around and, sort myself out.
And was that all about like being able to provide? And
yeah, it was. It was a big thing. I didn't want to be just a dosser dad or anything like that. I needed to graft and provide and give child the best future I could, really, and the best upbringing.
And how did you do that?
So then I got myself a proper job. I think initially I started working with Tom, your brother, and James on the tools.
Yeah.
So I did that for a bit, but that,
yeah.
I did probably 4 or 5 months of that. Wasn't really for me. And it was working away, and I didn't want to work away, earning crap money, which it was as a labourer.
Drinking pints of vinegar.
Stealing bowling shoes and losing my trainers and end up having to buy a new pair of trainers.
Nose between your legs.
Thinking I was going to die. And that's not what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be around, with Tom, as he was bringing up. And it's not what I'm good at. I'm not, I struggle to change a light bulb. I'm pretty hopeless at that sort of stuff.
We know.
Thank you. Yeah. But that's not what I was good at. So after a period, it was like I got a job with CCSG. I think it was full-time temping initially, on the phones doing debt collection.
Okay.
Then, I worked really hard at that. I'd go in every day and I'd just graft like fuck, and I'd win the weekly bonus every week, or 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a 50 quid bonus every week for doing it.
Cracking.
But great.
Have some of that.
But I made sure I was.
In the running.
I'd manipulate it so I got the best ones to do.
Yeah, manipulate it.
Mate,
joking, ain't you?
But that's what you do, and 'cause it meant that 50 quid was a lot at the time, and it meant a lot, and I wanted to make sure I did it.
Yeah.
And then I got took on full time there. Went on the phones doing more debt collection there. Then I got the opportunity to lead a team of, I think it was about 20 temps, where I was in charge of them doing outbound calls, monitoring what they're doing, reporting and things like that. Which was good, I enjoyed that. It was the first sort of bit of management that I was doing.
Yeah.
Obviously very fresh to it. I was quite young.
Yeah.
Then from that department was closing, so I was being moved. I had the opportunity to move into finance, so I applied for the finance manager job there, which I was quite excited about. I always liked numbers and things like it, and I was good at it. So got the job there. And with that, I then started doing AAT at nights. So I'd work in the day, then go to college 2 nights a week.
What made you do that?
Just further develop myself. I want to get to the point where I'm earning, good money.
Yeah.
And to do that, qualifications help, knowledge helps. So
how old was Tom at that point, or had Grace come along?
No, Grace hadn't. Grace came along, so she's 14 now. So yeah, she was sort of just being born then, I think. But we were very lucky that me and Kat, for not knowing each other, got on, and we're still together now and very happy married.
Yeah, of course.
It's lucky that that's worked out, considering we didn't really know each other when Tom was first.
Does that say a lot about you as a character?
Probably more about her, that she's tolerated me for that fucking long. I don't know, it's just clicked, and we're both, everything we do is for our kids. So that aligns, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got quite a lot in common. And
is that true? Because, most people say that. Most people will say whatever they do in life is for their kids.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is. My whole life changed because of it.
Yeah.
And every bit of, last 11 years we've been here, all the effort I've put in and the long hours and everything has been so the business does better, so I earn more money, so I can do better things with the kids and give them the best upbringing they can.
Yeah.
Have nice holidays, do good things, and I've always been able to I've managed the work-life balance pretty well, I think, considering the hours we do. It's 24/7. Yeah. The emails don't stop, and I can't leave it alone either. I go on holiday, the first thing I pack is my laptop.
Yeah, addicted.
We're at the airport, and I'll get the laptop out.
Yeah, it's addiction, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I can't drive home from London without pulling over to check my emails.
It's so people listening understand like what that really means. So you went, you obviously at that point in your life where you were like, right, I need to sort myself out. I need to get this moving now. I need to get a fucking proper job and really hit it hard.
Yeah.
And then you turning that then into the momentum that you started to build, moving into management, and you're young and making mistakes all the fucking time, but still seeing some results.
Yeah.
And then so where did the Falcon journey start? Like what was that for you?
Well, that was you. I think you phoned me up one week going, fancied doing a bit of numbers at our place. Your dad was, he was working full time, but he was looking to sort of phase himself to more part-time work, and he used to do that side of things. And I thought, who do I know who does numbers I can work with? And
it is.
I was fairly high up in your phone book.
He was bright at school. That's where he was.
that was generally our recruitment in the early days, wasn't it?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, he was bright, and he's not doing too well that we can't get him.
Yeah.
So you phoned me, and then I think me, you, and your brother went to the Wildmoor Oak.
Yeah.
Some chicken wings and a couple of pints, and talked it through. And it sounded exciting for me, but I was worried as well. I'd been at CCSG for probably 6 years or so, and I'd progressed well with that.
Yeah.
And they'd been bought out. They're part of a bigger company, and it was a bit more of a corporate sort of.
Mm-hmm. Where were you living then at that point, El?
I think we were at East Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that then turned into a job offer?
Yeah, you had me an offer, and then I couldn't really decide because I've been there a long time, and I was doing well there. Mm-hmm. I used to get quite a bit of overtime and things like that, and then it was going to work for your mate. Mm. And it's a big worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm providing. If it doesn't work out, how's that going to work? How's our relationship going to be?
Yeah.
Working for you as a mate. Mm-hmm. That was hard. So I think we had about 10 meetings after that where I was just like, I need to come around and have a chat.
Put some more questions, El.
Yeah, and this is what we need to do to make it work. And then agreed to jump at the end. Yeah. Did it. I think that same handed him a notice and had my driving test that day as well.
You did.
Which was sweating because the new job was in Dudley.
Yeah.
So it's like, fucking hell, how am I going to get there?
There was a car on the table.
The car was ready, yeah. But it's, if that ain't, how am I getting there?
Yeah.
How am I getting home? But luckily I passed. Not luckily, I'm a class driver.
You're absolutely not.
What are you on about? Don't worry about them alloys. So then made the jump, and it's the best decision I've ever made. Mm-hmm. It's what I wasn't sure of, but I've loved it. It's been my life.
And so when you came in as account manager. So you're managing the finances, the numbers, the banking, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
How did that evolve for you? So
I think it was quite basic what we were doing at the time. Obviously, Dad didn't have an accounting background that much. And I'd worked for bigger businesses where there's lots of different things that we were doing and other people.
We had Nick the Dick then as well, didn't we?
We had Nick the Dick, great bloke. And for where we were, he was ideal, wasn't he?
Yeah. He came in once a month.
He came in once a month and did the numbers with us, and he was a good guy.
The party every other quarter.
yeah. Which was always a good crack.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, there's quite a few things I could implement straight away. Mm-hmm. And it was just, but I was always hungry to do more. Never wanted to and that's been to my detriment at times.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to just do finance. If there's something else going on, but I'll give it me. I'll do it.
So your first big internal move was from account manager to finance director.
Yeah.
And how was that transition?
It was good. It was something I was keen to do. I like responsibility. I want responsibility and I like challenge. So I felt it was a bit of a natural step. I don't know, when we first, it's first talked about and things like that, when you mentioned it as a possibility, I thought, that's going to happen, because I'll make sure it happens.
Yeah.
And I just knew by working hard I'd do that.
And then, like, once you were in that FD chair, what was that, like, biggest knowledge gap that you maybe had when you went from account manager to FD? Like, what was the point where you were going, fucking hell, like, this is big, this is?
Every day. Like, the title's a title, isn't it? I wasn't really... That didn't weigh heavy or anything like that. I think it just carries more clout when you're talking to other people.
Yeah.
Which is a load of bollocks, but it does.
Yeah. True.
So I wasn't bothered by that. I didn't suddenly think, shit, now I'm an FD. What have I got to do now?
Yeah.
But I wasn't, my knowledge was okay, but I was pretty young, inexperienced at, doing full processes. I wasn't a qualified accountant or anything like that. So I was just working my way through it. And generally at the time, in the office was me, you, Tom and Ian.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anyone I could sound anything out with anyway, because I know your knowledge isn't bad now financially.
Yeah, but back then.
But if you go 10 years ago, you knew...
Yeah. But didn't know a lot at all.
You didn't know what a P&L stood for.
Just like, well, are we making money? We've got money in the bank.
Got money in the bank. I don't think it was even that we were making money. It was like, money in the bank. Yeah, sound.
Yeah. It was pretty much that, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think for me, when I was involved with different stuff before as finance manager in different jobs, I didn't get into balance sheets, P&Ls. I understood them, but didn't have loads and loads of dealings with them. So it's a bit different than doing it, understanding it.
Yeah. You sort of learn on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's lots of things we had to, as we grew and different things where suddenly bringing in new bankings, invoice finance and all that sort of thing to make sure we've got the cash. When we first joined, we had money in the bank which would last us 3 months if anything went wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
But then you suddenly start doing more business and people want to pay you later.
Yeah.
But the fitters want paying earlier.
Tomorrow.
And it's like that cash flow, suddenly what that float in the bank of 3 months is what we're using to pay one supplier, let alone everyone else.
Yeah.
So it was,
managing that growth curve.
Yeah, which was hard work.
Yeah. Few strokes.
A lot of strokes along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you agree that, like, unless you've really experienced them type of strokes and them real hairy moments, then you're not succeeding?
Yeah, definitely. You need to have those to... If you don't experience those, then you don't grow, do you?
Nah.
There's certain times where I probably wish we hadn't had them fucking challenges. But I'm proud of a lot of the stuff I did as FD. There's a lot of things I think as FD I got involved in different stuff, a lot of stuff, and so some of that is because we were a small business and people wanted to.
Yeah.
You have to do different roles, but also enjoyed doing different roles, and I'd always like, well, fuck employing somebody else to do that. I'll do that.
Yeah, I know.
And generally try and make myself more valuable to the business in doing as much as I possibly could. And I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
I can't just sit in front of a spreadsheet. That's not my character. I get bored.
And you did a good job at that, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did. I think sometimes we look back and I get a bit of grief for different things, which is fair in some points. But as a whole, I think at the time, no one would have done a better job than me on it, because of the different things that I could do.
Because we were scaling.
Yeah.
If you just bought a normal FD in off the table, off the street and said, come on in, and they'd have gone, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and things aren't black and white in our industry.
Yeah,
You've got to play games with supply. When you've got to, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You've got to have the relationships with the fitters and use different things to get the results that you want.
But when you're growing at 700%, you're gonna have to work your socks off, aren't you, to play that game?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not possible. And anybody that tells you it fucking is full of shit.
Great.
Yeah. And I think that's that in it. And then you got to that point where we realised that the finance was just, we needed somebody better than you.
Yeah, we did. We were doing bigger business. Same with the accountants. It's great, Nick, who used to come in, but as we got to bigger business, we needed more advice than just a management accountant coming in to help us.
Yeah.
giving us the numbers. It was, what's the tax advice? What are we doing about R&D?
Yeah.
Things like that. And with me, I wasn't a focused FD.
No.
I was doing, at times, I was running the reactive maintenance contract as well as doing an FD role.
Yeah.
As well as
involved in ops,
and I'll be running the lads and running jobs as well as running the numbers.
Too thin.
Yeah, spread myself far too thin.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed it, and a lot of that was needs of the business. But I also enjoy doing that as well. I'm greedy.
Yeah,
I want to do everything. Don't like not being involved in stuff.
Yeah, definitely. People downstairs would say you're greedy.
Yeah,
they know that, don't they?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Is
that a fat joke?
It could have been. Then you wanted to take on too much, and explain what that was, how when you know that there's just too much here, like this is
I think
too much.
Well, it was just the creditors were building up because our age debt was getting bigger and bigger because we wouldn't chase the debt.
Yeah.
Because it's something which doesn't have to happen now. I don't have to do that now. That job I'm running, I've got to deal with that now.
Yeah.
The phone calls, I've got to take those. Whereas I'll chase that tomorrow. That tomorrow, and what you'll find is then, some people, unless they're chased, won't pay.
No.
People have got queries, you don't know about the queries, and then just cash flow gets tighter and tighter, and there's more stress on that, which then causes more stress, but you're just constantly on that sort of vicious circle of chasing your tail a bit.
When was the moment that you realised that, when you thought, we probably need to change this?
We sat down on a few occasions and discussed it and different things. But I think it was, if we were always talking about growing the business. We want to keep growing. Yeah. There's no end to where we want to get to. And it's really going a case of where do I need to be? Where do we need a finance department in this? And it's a bit of a, I've either got to go and really knuckle down and just do the FD role and purely focus on that, or we've got to bring somebody in who will do that. And is that person we bring in probably going to be better at me at that stage? Yeah, I think they will be. I know what my qualities are, but I also know where I'm lacking.
Yeah.
And that's where
and that's important, isn't it, for people listening? It's important that the weakness area. You don't need to be great at everything.
No.
It's really important that you're aware, self-aware of where them points where you're not so good.
I ask people more than probably anyone else in the business. I ask people to help me with different things.
Yeah.
I've been in flooring 11 years now, 12 years probably, if you include the labouring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My flooring knowledge is pretty good now, but it's not great.
Yeah.
If I've got a problem, I'll phone Mark, who
absolutely.
knows everything. He knows better than me.
Yeah, he's the Bible, isn't he?
And I don't know why people don't just do that.
Yeah, totally. Definitely. Yeah.
If there's a finance question, I'll go to, used to go to Sam, or I'll go to Jack, or I'll just sound it out. We do the same, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
If we're having those tough conversations, or this
ball,
is what I'm thinking on this.
Yeah.
Am I right? Read this email before I send it. Am I being a prick here? Am I just aggy today?
Yeah, bouncing the ball.
Yeah.
I think it was around that when we sat down in the February of COVID, and we said, there's a storm coming here.
Yeah.
Look, and I think I remember the day when I sat everybody down and said, let's plan for zero revenue.
Yeah.
In the Feb.
Which was a laugh.
Yeah, it was a real laugh.
Yeah.
But we only had to look at Italy that was shut, and everybody was walking around with their head in the clouds thinking that everything was going to be sound.
Yeah.
And we had a plan.
Yeah, we did very early. We planned for the worst and hoped for the best.
Yeah.
And you're always you'll look at the pessimistic route a lot more than me.
Yeah.
I'm more the eternal optimist.
Absolutely.
But we sort of follow both. We do probably have 4 or 5 different P&Ls based on different scenarios.
Yeah.
But it's still planning for that worst scenario gave us a real focus. So
Definitely.
It's like, okay, if that happens, what do we need? We need cash.
Yeah.
We need cash to survive. So what we're going to do? We're going to chase all our debts. We get them in as quick as we can.
Yeah.
And then as it was unfolding and different things were happening, we were talking to 4 or 5 different banks who I've got relationships with, not even people who are banked with, but people who would help us, and we've moved banks since, and a lot of that is because of the support they gave us during COVID.
100%.
They didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But they helped us with, different applications for help. And
we got our C-bills in on time, didn't we? I think we were the first.
We were like top 3 in the Midlands to get ours in.
Yeah. Because we were well prepped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, and we got lots of, and that's again going back to what you know and what you don't know. I was preparing all those forecasts and different numbers and working models, but the advice I was getting from 4 different banks from our different accountants and things like it meant, we were really right at the forefront.
Connections.
And we've got great data and great information, and we're providing too much, if anything.
Yeah.
But that's only because of the people we know, not because of my own skill set.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But my skill set is knowing that I don't know that.
Yeah.
And getting that information from people.
And so when we went through that period and we offered them early settlements, we pulled that cash in early. When that 20th of March rolled around, we weren't in real bad nick, were we?
We weren't, but then you go, oh no, let's spend a shitload of money on a new CRM system.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, nah.
I wanted 200 grand, if I remember right.
Yeah, sound.
Yeah. And I think it was because it was that point where we were going to take the wheels off and we were going to dust them down and get underneath the hood and really understand how the business worked and build a system that we'd just thrown, I think, 100 grand away, hadn't we?
We'd thrown a bit away, yeah. On a system that didn't really. It would have worked, but it wasn't built for scale. Yeah. And I don't think it was built. The platforms it was being built on and things like that were a little bit dated.
Yeah.
And if we look now, if we'd had that system, I think it was probably server-based still and things like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to be developed like we're continuing to develop our CRM.
Yeah. And I suppose that's where that 200 grand came into play. And I think, speaking for myself, I think it's paid dividend over the years. I don't think we'd have been able to scale to the way we got to without a real robust system in the background managing that.
No, definitely. It made us more, working from spreadsheets as opposed to a CRM where, the reporting, the BI we get from it is tenfold what you'll get from Excel, and I love Excel.
I know you do. Got the Excel guru spreadsheet.
I have,
But now we've got Jack on board. I think there's.
I'm better than now. I shit all over Jack at Excel, mate. I ain't having this.
Jack's not having that, I don't think.
No.
You have to go and have a conversation with him, mate. But yeah, he said he'll butter you up on that one.
That was something when Sam came in and upset me a little bit because he was better than me.
Yeah. Well, he was though, wasn't he?
Yeah, which at first hurt, but then later on it was like, well, sound, I'll just send it to him today.
Can you do that, please? Yeah. And then you moved from there into a managing director role.
Yeah.
So that was what pivotal lessons, I suppose, did you have from that? Because that's a bit of a switch, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And again, it was just sort of growing into that role.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I had a lot of qualities in some ways on it, and then there's other things which I know I've got to work on, and the stuff I'm still working on. Mm-hmm. Your characteristic. I think me and you are very different in how we do that. Yeah. You love talking and speaking to people. I love speaking to people. I'm very good at speaking to people on a one-to-one or a few people.
Yeah.
But standing up in front of 30 people, nah.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
Whereas you love that.
Yeah, I just get on with it.
Yeah. Whereas I don't. Stuff like this, I don't like.
Never a guest.
Don't enjoy it.
He hasn't moved since he got in.
Back to it. No, but it's not me. Yeah. That's not me. But that's where there's different things that, I try to push myself. I'll recognise it and I'll lean into it and try and do what I can to make myself better at those things.
Yeah.
I know commercially I think well. Mm-hmm. I'm very good at thinking pros, cons and working all that through quite quickly. Yeah. But there's the other stuff I've got to work on, and I'm still working on. Yeah. And there's been a lot of lessons along the way.
And what is that like, that biggest lesson that you take from that, El?
I think a lot of it's obviously, we grew and we grew and we grew, and there's lots of lessons we've learned along the way. Some of it we took on too much work at times, which meant we haven't made the money we should have made, or delivered things as well as we should have, which we've done that with a couple of contracts. Yeah, got greedy. Yeah, and some of it is a take it or leave it as well. If you don't do that work, somebody else will, so you don't want that. So I think, that's been lessons learned. I don't think, and then when you're in that and you're running, not thinking enough ahead of what's that down for. You run all that big contract, that's going to stop at a certain point. Yeah. What we're doing then? We've scaled in staff, we've scaled in installers, we've got that revenue, we've got those overheads. Yeah. But what happens now? And I don't think that was thought enough. And I think other lessons is just really, I think I put too much trust in other people. I'd ask questions of other people. They'd give me answers, but I wouldn't.
Is it trust though, or is it not wanting to change, because I think they're two different things. People, I was at an event yesterday, and there was a lady there talking about. Well, actually, the main question was, put your hand up if you've got somebody in your business that you know needs to go.
Okay.
And I didn't put my hand up, but there was a fair few in the room out of 20 people in the room that put their hands up.
Yeah.
And Richard Harpin asked, well, what are you doing about
What are
it?
you pissing about with?
And do you think at that point, there's putting that trust in people, because you want them to do the job, you want them to do a really good job, but at what point do you then say,
I think there's times we've carried people for too long, probably because we like them, or probably because we like them, or they work hard, but they weren't that good. We've made that mistake. But when I'm going about trust, I think it's where I've gone, I'm asking certain people questions of how things will look in the future or what we're doing, get answers, trust those answers. But what I should be doing is really diving into that and really, is that answer true?
Yeah.
You're showing me these numbers. What's the basis of them?
Yeah.
Rather than just going, that's your job and I trust that answer. And that was, a big thing.
Yeah. And that then turned into what? Where did we go? What happened from there?
So from there, that's where, turnover dropped, didn't it? Quite dramatically as contracts started finishing. We hadn't filled it enough in the background, which we've managed to do now with lots of different things. Yeah. But that's where, you've stepped back into the business at times where you weren't really in the business.
I was out of the business, working on the business rather than in the business.
Yeah. And that's where you've gone more on the operational side, and that's where you've been good at running those, going through those people's numbers, but then actually questioning them and really getting into them, not trusting them. Where that's where potentially I've just, okay, you're fine. If you're saying that, I'll trust that.
Yeah.
And then I've been more focused on that commercial side.
Yeah.
Where I'm.
Hence moving to the commercial director role.
Yeah.
And why do you think you're really good at that,
El? Generally relationships. I'm quite good at building relationships, I think.
Yeah.
I'm quite adaptable. And I like meeting people and talking to people on different levels and different, I'm always myself in those. But I'm quite, it's what I'm good at, I think. And I'm good at different scenarios, working out what people want, and taking opportunities. Someone's talking about something, they've got problems, and I'm just thinking, how can I solve it, and how can we make money by solving it?
How do I benefit from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a win-win then, isn't it? And a lot of that is, I know a lot of people in lots of different ways. And like I say, it's not what I can do myself, but I know people who can.
Yeah. And so when you look back at that time and that transition, what is the biggest thing that you learned from that whole going from account manager, finance director, managing director, commercial director? And so what was your biggest learn from them transitions?
I think there's lots of different learnings, and things that we do differently if they happen again. A lot of it is that trust thing. I don't just take...
Is that the one thing you change?
Yeah. Because I don't think there's a lot of things that I think I did really well, and I was doing those things, but, I was having these... it wasn't that the questions weren't being asked. It's just the answers weren't being checked.
Okay.
And that wouldn't happen now and doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
When I'm looking commercially, and, we've got Dan as the head of commercial who does a brilliant job, and I trust Dan, but I still check what he says.
Yeah.
And that's,
That's a lesson.
That's a lesson.
Absolutely, big lesson.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And so, how do you see the next 5 years planning out? What do you see? What do you see next?
I don't know. In all honesty, I want to continue to grow the business. I want us to make decent money. That's what we're doing it for, essentially.
Yeah.
And building a great business. That's what we want to do.
That's the mission.
That's the mission. I'm really proud of where we are and where we've got to.
Yeah.
But I want to continue that. I don't want to stand still. I don't want to just be at the level we are now.
Yeah.
Because that'll bore me.
Great.
I like challenge, and I don't want to, and I think we can continue to grow the business.
Yeah.
So
No doubt.
I want to continue to do that, and just generally keep working on what, I've got different personal goals myself, and working on what I need to be the best I can at that. There'll still be some mistakes I'll make along the way. I still make mistakes.
That's life, innit?
I still spread myself too thin at times. I know that.
I think you'll always do that.
I know.
I don't think that'll ever change.
But
that is how you're built.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like that?
I do.
You do.
But you do that to me as well.
Yes, that's fair.
You know that.
Yeah. And that can be, and that's when I do try and wind you in though at times as well.
Yeah.
When I say to you, I don't want you involved with that. I don't want that involvement there. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
So I think we have an open conversation about them things, don't we?
We do.
And I think that's got better over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't take offence by it, by you not wanting me involved in certain stuff. I understand the reasons for it, and it's better for the business that other people are doing things.
And on that, every decision that we've made up to point, you've seen the journey, you've been part of that journey. All of them decisions that we've made have got us to where we are today. And some good, some bad.
Yeah.
But overall, we've still stuck it out.
Still here.
Yeah. And we've still driven it together.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. And so if anybody listening in that's got a close partner relationship, that you need to have that open conversation with people around where my flaws are, where your flaws are, what I do really well, what you do really well. Work to them strengths. Don't let your fucking ego get in the way of things that you actually really want to push this business forward, because that will only slow you down and only hold you up. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And we've had a lot of open conversations about that.
Yeah.
And I think, there was a time where we had a bit of a rough patch where we weren't talking enough.
Yeah.
We openly said, we sort of did say that, didn't we?
Yeah. Because it hurts, doesn't it? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
It can be, and you
some that's tough.
and I think then, you get pissed off because I'm not talking. I'm getting pissed off because I'm doing my own thing. You're doing your own thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just think, well, he ain't interested in what I'm doing, and you're thinking exactly the same.
Yeah.
And that's where it just breaks down a bit.
Yeah.
But then you air it, and it's better, isn't it?
Yeah. And then people, you end up having them conversations, don't you?
Yeah.
But as long as you're on the same page all the time, you're pretty much in a good spot.
Yeah.
But lots of people aren't, and that they're listening to this thinking like, well, how do they communicate that? And it is just raw honesty, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that question,
you're probably better at that than me.
I'm fucking far better.
I'll go around the houses a little bit.
But that's why I said yesterday when they were talking about this, and there was like, I said, well, why don't you just sit them down? And every time that we've wanted to get rid of somebody, we've sat them down and said, this isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
How on earth do you think that they're going to get up, go downstairs into the office and still do a good job after you've just told them that they're not a fit anymore for the company?
Yeah.
I mean, they can be the best people in the world, but culturally, if they don't fit, that for me is an easy conversation, but to most people, it's not anymore. It's hard.
No, I think it's what we've made a lot of mistakes recruitment-wise, where we haven't recruited based on culture at times. We've recruited who we think will do that job well.
Yeah.
And there's finding a balance. We've also had people who culturally fit really well but are dog shit at their job.
Yeah.
And that's no good either.
No,
You've got to have the balance.
Yeah.
But we know, our interview process now, the first thing is finding that culture. Will they fit in culturally?
Yeah.
Are they going to be offended at us swearing?
But there's a point to that, isn't there?
Yeah, we're not going to change how we are as a business. We all enjoy being at work and speaking directly to each other and having a good crack.
Yeah.
And it's no good if someone isn't part of that.
But I've always believed that talent can be taught if they've got grit, determination, want, and all of that good stuff that goes with it. But you can't tell somebody to be nice, or you can't tell somebody to stop being a twat to fit in culturally. No. Culturally, they have to fit first.
Some things are personality, aren't they?
They are.
Your personality is your personality. Personalities can be developed and changed and pushed.
Yeah.
You look Dan, for example.
Yeah.
And Mac.
Yeah.
They were both, when they first started with the business, pretty shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Culturally,
quiet. They fit because they could have a crack with you and everything like that, but they were not big personalities.
No. Now.
Whereas now, they've got a bit about them.
Yeah.
Macca will get naked. Macca will get naked.
Yeah.
And Collins puts himself out there
Yeah, he does.
a lot.
4 cold calls.
I can't imagine him ever, like, he wouldn't pick up the phone to people he knew before.
Yeah, great. It was all a text message.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
good
great.
growth, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is. And I think, we've tried to create that environment for them and sometimes doing that push with them.
Yeah.
Me and you have always been very good at pushing ourselves at being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable is what we've
Yeah.
always talked about.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always tried to do.
Yeah.
If there's a shit conversation or something like that, I want to do that.
Yeah, I'll just get stuck into it.
But I'd rather I did that than anyone else. It's my
Yeah.
it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be shouting at someone else. Shout at me.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's good, mate. So quick lightning round. So
Okay.
a few questions
Sound.
straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Got to answer them as fast as you can.
Okay.
Okay. What's one book or podcast that has had a profound impact on your life?
Book or podcast? I'm more of a book person. I think The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Shit, I think it's called, something like
I
that.
think that's the one, yeah.
I really like that. Obviously, it's different to what ours is. Our motto is give a shit.
Yeah.
Is it give a fuck? It's a lot like.
It could be. Is that the one where effectively they're saying, like, don't take on everybody else's shit?
It's more about what you should give a shit about. It's not about not giving a shit about anything.
Yeah.
But it's just what you should care about. Because sometimes you can get weighed really, and I've always been a very private person and don't really show emotions or anxiety or anything like that. But I've had that, and I think it just really helped with how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And what I should care about and what I shouldn't care about.
Like it. What's one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
It's not very fast, this response, is it?
It's not, is it? No.
No.
I didn't expect it to be with you.
I do normally think about things before I answer anyway.
Great.
One piece of advice I'd give to myself, I don't know, because I think everything that we've done has been a lesson, and you learn along the way.
What would you give to your younger self?
What would I give to my younger self? I don't really fucking know.
You've got one in there.
I don't know. I think you just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah.
It's what I always tell myself. Just
keep going.
Yeah.
Love it.
And be consistent. I think.
Yeah.
I feel like yes, there's some inconsistencies in me, but there's not. I turn up every day. I work hard every day without fail, and how I deal with people and things is the same every day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make a decision on because I'm having a bad day that I wouldn't make when I'm having a good day.
Good. What's one thing you're actively trying to improve about yourself?
It's more sort of the public speaking and presenting, things like that.
Done a bit of that recently, though.
I've done a lot of that recently.
Doing more of it on the grand plan stuff and...
Yeah, so every week, initially speaking in front of everybody, even though I know what I'm saying, I know the people I'm saying it in front of, I don't understand why I'd just struggle talking, whereas now I'm okay with that, and I don't think, fucking hell, I've got to do that tomorrow. I'm okay with doing it, but I also, the whole time I want to do those things, I want to be the person who does it, even though I don't like doing it.
Got it.
But continuing to do that, I think, I've worked with a lot on that. I've read books on it. I've watched different things, and I've met somebody who does that as a job. I've been to his house, and he's gave me
It's good.
a session on it.
Yeah.
And it really helped.
Yeah. It's a good improvement. What's one thing that you wish people gave more shits about?
Their own consistent behaviours.
Fair.
I think people showed up in different moods and different days and acting differently. People acting differently because you're in or I'm in.
Yeah.
I think you're doing things for the wrong reason. If you're acting in a different way because that person's there, so you're acting the best version of yourself because that person's there. That's bollocks.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you should adapt with different people being there and things like that. I know I'm probably more serious when you're not in the office. I'll probably piss around more when you're there.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to do the authoritative role as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a good adaptation, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But to go, I'm going to work harder because you're here,
That's bullshit.
you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Good. What's one thing that you're most grateful for?
Most grateful for, I think, work.
Yeah.
In work.
Yeah,
No, I mean in
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Obviously,
anything,
I'm most grateful for my family. I've got
Yeah.
a great family.
Mm-hmm.
My parents and my in-laws, my wife, my kids. They're all fantastic. And then in work, the support they've given me, it's been amazing.
Allowing you to do what you do.
Yeah. Cat, especially, there's so many times where it's, well, I've got to go to London tomorrow. I'm on my way for the next 3 days.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And she's got to change everything. All
Yeah.
her plans, her own career
Yeah.
is based around mine.
Yeah, good.
And
hard,
the kids having to adapt to that as well.
It's hard.
It's hard. So I'm very grateful for that. Away from that, I'm grateful for having the opportunities we've had here. Grateful for working with you.
Yeah.
We work well together. We always have.
Yeah.
And because of that, the opportunities we've created and,
The business we've built.
the business we've built. I'm just grateful, really, that I don't have a job I hate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who are unhappy in their jobs.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there's days where it's shit.
Yeah.
We have enough challenging times.
Yeah. But don't have the Sunday night dread.
No. Don't have the Sunday night dread.
No.
You forget what day of the week it is.
Yeah. I just can't
Oh,
wait
shit,
to get
it's
it.
Thursday.
Fucking love that. And what's your definition of success?
I think it's happiness, isn't it? If you're happy, then you're successful. It's not about what you've necessarily built or how much money you've got or anything like that. It's generally, I know people who've got loads of money but aren't happy.
Yeah, great.
I know people who haven't got any money
Yeah.
but they're happy, and they're the ones who are winning.
Yeah.
If you're happy,
Totally agree.
content.
Love that. And if you could leave one last message on the world, what would it be?
One last message on the world.
What would it be?
Like, how would I want to be thought of? Or
Anything?
I think people just need to listen to each other a bit more.
Wish people would listen.
Yeah, too many people like to talk. It's a funny thing to say on a fucking podcast.
I think it's absolutely fucking brilliant. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for, sharing your insights and, everything that you've learned and the journey that you've been on. And the business wouldn't be what it is today without the journey that we've had.
No.
And so, respect all the way from that. And you know that I love you. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's been really good to listen and get your story out there and let people listen in and what they can learn from you, mate.
Yeah, I think, it's nice to talk about it. I hate this sort of stuff.
I know you do.
But I think we probably don't often enough take stock of the journey,
Yeah.
where we've come and what's gone on and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite
I've always said before, it's quite nice to actually just look over your shoulder from time to time
Yeah.
and see that track that you've left behind.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's also good to focus on that future of like, where the fuck are we going and what are we going to achieve?
Agreed. We're both ambitious.
And it's that rocket, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that wraps up another episode, and thank you for listening and thank you for joining us, and just remember to click and follow, and thank you ever so much. Thanks for coming in, son.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.